Hello, traders. Right, I've just posted something on Twitter about how this is probably the pretty much the best setup I can ever imagine on my charts. Um, I've dropped the um, Sonic DJ's bands because they're not really needed. In fact, I loved them at the time, and I've had them on and off my charts more times than I can even count. And but they're only moving averages, and moving averages are imprecise compared to I don't know, ultimate candle levels or the line chart levels. Um, I reason for this, it will be a ramble as always, guys, but put it on 2 times speed or something. But please persevere with my videos if anything I do half interests you, because I'm not going to write scripts for these things. I'm not going to edit them. I'm not going to do what all these. I'm not going to take alerts off, although I might do if it keeps on firing stupidly. But leave all that fancy video stuff for the influencers that haven't got a clue about trading and just spout nonsense. So, what you're looking at here is the Bollinger Bands, and then we've got a bunch of Robin Hood indicators. We've also got this that isn't Robin Hood. I'm repeating myself where that's concerned. But I did post that I'm at, I think this is the ultimate setup now on, I posted on Twitter, and this is the video to accompany it. And there are caveats, of course. I mean, I would like to see, instead of having two sets of charts open with time frames, sorry, that's a DAX, that's pennies running on that now because I closed it with about, if I remember, 70, 80 points, so 8 pips, whatever. But all the time frames, H4, H1, M30, are all in the buy zone for these various things that I'm watching. I've limited it now to a few yen pairs and a few indices and gold. Even that is overkill. It's unnecessary, but I just like it. And if you're comfortable with something, you have to build your own set, as it were, of indicators. I advise you not to rely on one, because I've said this before, and if this is the only video you've watched of mine, then it's worth repeating these things. Um, if you rely on one, then world events will affect. If you rely on trading gold, what happens in the world, tankers sink, oil tankers, say, for example, if you're trading oil, um, wars and all that sort of stuff will affect prices. What Trump gets up to will affect prices on US dollar related pairs and stuff. I and that I try not to think about. I don't want that in my head. I've even stopped watching mainstream media because it's just a distraction for me as a chart trader, and that's it. I'm 100% chart trader. You will never hear me say, apart from the fact that you need to avoid perhaps being in trades when big news articles come out or Trump tweets something stupid or whatever, or the British government, who are numpties as well, do something stupid. I'm not pointing the finger at anyone. In fact, I'm pointing the finger at everyone in government seems to be useless. Anyway, I digress. So all I'm interested in, really, looking at 3 yen pairs here. I could put other ones, see whether, just for learning's sake, if you like, AJ or CJ, Chuff J. But really and truthfully, I only want to see what they're all doing, and I tend to stick with pound yen because that moves. I'm going to get biggest bang for my buck. It'll move 15 pips when most of the time UJ or EJ move 5. That's not set in stone, of course. And then we're back to all these indicators and what I'm learning. And the point, again, another point of this video is that this is amazing in my eyes. I was always wondering what to do about the TMA slope. I knew it needed further research, as it were, and I'd noticed more often than not that the TMA slope will not trigger at the same time that I'm expected to take a trade for the RSI histo. And I couldn't work out quite how to deal with it, whether to take it off my charts or what. And funnily enough, now what I've noticed by having these additional indicators, as it were, and here's another point, and I'll get back to the TMA right away. But another point, some people say you can have too many indicators. Why? Well, actually, I probably might have said that in the past myself. In fact, I was an avid naked candlestick trader for a period, maybe 2, 3 years, because it was expected of you. Peer pressure. You're supposed to be the purest naked candle trader, and actually, it did me good. I developed the 3CR. I watched the 2B reversal, just candles, bars, whatever you want to call them, highs and lows and closes and opens, not so much open and closes. And I'm a real line chart open close trader now. Wicks have their place, but the line charts, in my opinion, are more powerful. But learn it for yourself. Anyway, the point about more indicators being a bonus, but only if they're the best indicators. And the RSI histo, in my opinion, is the best indicator. After, the 3CR is a brilliant, brilliant piece of kit. And I love the indicator and I love what it shows me. Combined with the RSI histo, it's probably the most powerful two things that I've ever found that you can have on your charts, and then the multi-time frame aspect of it all. But what I'm seeing more and more is, I'm in a small gold trade, the runner. This was the one I posted on Twitter. Late, there was a massive move from, oh, wrong chart. Sorry, I've got these two charts because of the two sets of time frames on the Bolligers, but got in late, entered way down here, and the actual correct entry was there. But I was away from charts. But what I'm noticing more and more, look, that's the point of this whole video. The TMA slope, I've changed. It's like a sea change. It's like when you can't unsee this stuff when you see it. And because I've added these extra indicators over and above, it doesn't limit me to only taking the RSI histo, bust, pullback, break and close. And go and watch some of my 3CR and RSI videos. There's over 1,100 videos on YouTube now, spanning back over 8 years. And that's only not even half of the time I've been staring at charts. But and the RSI histo came on board about 2020, around about just before the COVID time, I think, maybe 2021, whatever. But it's sort of changed my whole view of the TMA now, because I'm very loath. The TMA is just a slope indicator. So obviously you've got flat periods like that there, and that's the reason I really dimmed down the flat periods, the grey periods, to almost invisible. And then I want to be, getting involved here or here, and not here. So this there's two more if you can vaguely see them. So another red with all the stuff pinging and blinging and whatnot over here. And as another point in my Twitter post, I said these are all self-fulfilling now. So the 3CR will be there when this lot start bonging and binging. This will be correct when this lot start bonging and binging, and vice versa. And this one I've noticed is not always correct, whereas this one is almost like a leading indicator now, as is momentum. And this is another slope indicator, if you like, multi-time frame Bollinger Bands, because you can, when it's in a sell zone, US 30, it'll be sloping down because it's below the middle Bollinger. There you go. It's below the middle Bollinger. It's actually below or touching or whatever, the lower Bollinger Band. So it's sell, sell, sell. Now, we've not got the TMA there, but when we got the 4 Heiken Ashes and TMA and the 2 arrows from, notice this gets us in even earlier, and none of these repaint. This one, because it is a multi-time frame, it can, if you're in an H1 candle and it's red, then that can change. But I only really need 2 time frames to agree, although I do, the more the merrier, and especially this situation here, like this, where we've gone from, that's a pullback. There's our pullback. There's our pullback green. There's our pullback. We've got a slope on that one. There's our pullback. It's gone from red to green. Those are HA buttons or round things, circles. So, and then it changes all to red again. There. That is the perfect situation, because at that point, unless I'm terribly mistaken, the H1 cannot change, because the H1 has been like that. Well, it can change, I suppose, but the H1 has been like that for 5 or 6 bars. And that was the pullback. And if we look at the candle situation, that on US 30 is a monster move with 0 drawdown. That is what I mean by momentum leads price. 13 pips, 130 whatever points. And this is what I'm saying, guys. It's just, I cannot unlearn this stuff. I cannot stop improving. And that's another reason for this video, and the point, the caveat, if you like. I need to learn so much more about this. There's so many settings on this. It's an amazing indicator. I've got tons to learn about this. I've got tons more to learn about all of these. And in fact, this could be improved upon. This could be improved upon. This can be improved upon. Coders. I can't imagine, I don't know enough about that to improve it. But, almost certainly, we've got no slope there. So it means we are in a range, and you can clearly see that. We're on M5, so M1 will tell us a totally different story, of course. But it is an important story. We never trade one time frame anymore. It's a multi-time frame trading method. So I could ramble on for years, hours, excuse me, about how to improve, but I can't see any improvement on what we have on here now, and I can't see me wanting to take anything off, because nothing confuses me anymore on this. And that is another important takeaway from this video. So I hope some of you are watching it, have watched it from start to finish, the ramble as it were, because taking things off my charts and then putting them back on enables me to look at them in, I don't know, it must be the way my brain works, of course. I see new things with them, and I miss them. I'd feel lost without that on my chart anymore. And that's the point, guys. It's taken me 20 odd years to mess around with all the stuff I've done. But, my trading has improved stratospherically since I found Robinhood's thread, a week or 2 ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. Read that diligently a couple of times, every post he made, and a few from other contributors. And you cannot unlearn this stuff. Loads of little comments he made chime with what I do. But this thing, I mean, just that thing there, the blue to red, which I need to change to green maybe, or some sort of tone of green, because green is up, red is down. Green, red. It's uncanny. how well they work. Look, it's turned to red there and it's just gone down. Turn to green there, that's the pullback. 3 bars, 3. Turn to red there, what's happened? It's gone down. These little arrows, the HA, the 4HA arrows, there's a bug that needs altering as well. There's a bug on the indices where the arrows, they're big on the RSI histo, and on the indices for some reason they're hollow and little, and they don't assume the color. But these, the 4HA things, there's ways. Maybe we only take the second one. Maybe we can get in the moment it starts flickering. There's so many ways, because obviously, the second one is going to have flushed out the buyers with this little pullback and then bigger moves. There's just so many ways of improving and building your confidence other than the Stone Age stuff that all these ICT guys, and I'm sorry to rag on about it, but it is criminal to go back to naked candles and stuff like that, especially if you're a scalper, and apologies to people that love naked candle trading and can do it so well. I would have been one of those people 5 years back, maybe 6 years back, maybe even longer actually, 8 years back. But it's unnecessary now. I've proved to myself beyond a shadow of a doubt, and hopefully to a few of you guys as well, that indicators do work. And as time goes by, all they're going to do is get better and better and better and better. And, it does concern me what might happen with AI, but the charts have been working the same way since, way before the mid-1700s, the tulip bulb charting times. Go back over 100 years or 100 years, they're writing books about chart patterns. Anyway, I'm rambling on now. Guys, it can only keep getting better. If you don't give this stuff a go, then you are doing yourself a disservice, in my opinion. Oh, and important to remember and remind you, because I never take a trade without looking at the clock. And what's happened here is we've just had a 15-minute candle close, so we should be looking at the 15 minutes and see what's happened. Now, if that 15-minute bar there, well, the one before, because it's just closed, of course, if that 15-minute bar was red, then I'd be all over this like a rash for potential, looking, not taking, looking for potential shorts. But I would want the M30 to be red and the H1 to be red, TMA we're talking about. Or at least, 2 or 3 of these above my alert time frame, if you like. So I don't mention that enough, and it is so important, but I do mention it. So if you're following me and you see me put timing, hashtag timing trades or timing into it, it's just there as a little reminder that every single trade down to M1, I check the times, because I always enter on M1, almost always, unless I've entered a trade late. But then I can look back to where I should have entered, and then I can check the time and the state of all this lot, like that gold trade. I could have, well, I would have, I did. When I entered late on that gold trade, I checked everything and double checked everything before taking a late entry. So it is that much of a systematic approach to trading now. Anyway, this has gone on for far, far longer than I meant it to. Hopefully, I've covered almost everything I thought of to put in this video. And hopefully, even if you've watched it on twice speed or whatever speed you need to watch it on, it has added some value for you. Thanks for watching and have a great day. I'm looking forward to a really long walk to my favourite eatery. Life is just amazing in this place. Southeast Asia, doesn't matter where you are, I presume it is down to your state of mind. And my state of mind is so in tune with this lifestyle. It's unbelievable. Everything, money, money is necessary to have fun, but it isn't everything in life. That's important to me to remember as well. You know, it's easy to say if you've got it, not so easy to say if you haven't. So get yourself to a point where you've got enough to live on or whatever and be happy. And, you know, be happy. Be happy. Thanks for listening. Have a great life.